All right. Welcome to Lightless Studios, baby. Today is January something, 20-something. I don't know. Give us the head bob. You got a head bob in you.
So swole that I can't
Starcade, baby.
Closed. So I money
no head bob.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Starcade. Hell yeah. Oh, my.
Starcade.
Oh, Lordy. Starcade.
Today, January 30th, something, 27th, January 27th, Lightless Studios, episode 49, on the road to episode 52, on the road to 1 year, baby. 1 year, Rip. You got the heel shirt on. You're on delay. You got the, I don't know, the Wi-Fi, your paws, whatever. How's it going today, Rip?
It's cold.
It's cold. Are you in Alaska? Where are you at, Rip?
No, I'm in my house with no heat on,
Oh, I thought maybe you're on the Alaska World Tour, wrestling tour, no?
I didn't know they had one. They used to have the Tony Condello tours. They would go up to Alaska and stuff. All the top stars would be on there. They'd get in the bus and do a whole bunch of shows and just come on back. That was the Tony Condello tours, famous all over the world, or at least in Western Canada.
All over the world, baby, at least in Western Canada. So me and Rip obviously aren't together today at Lightless Studios. Had a little complications today, so we are doing this show separate. No matter what, this is the dedication we have, Rip. We refuse, no matter what. I've been out of town. You've been out of town. We've been sick. I've been sick. Whatever it's been the case, we make it happen every single week somehow because we are dedicated, Rip. We are dedicated to our fans to get to 52 episodes every single week. We never miss. Dedication, Rip.
It don't get any better than that. I
got
my heels shirt on. Of course, it's the same shirt I had on last week, and I haven't taken it off, but kayfabe that,
Yeah, I won't tell anybody. Do you ever think of changing shirts, Rip?
I thought about it. Then I thought I had to wash it. So I said, well, why do that? Just in the wintertime, you don't sweat as much anyway. Just put roll-on deodorant over the shirt. That's cool. What the hell, right?
You used to turn them like inside out or something, didn't you?
Yeah, all that. Then you can get another week out of it. Then turn it back the other way. It's fresh again.
I'm gonna try to go through the talk right now.
Talk right now. Talk right now. Talk right now.
Awesome. I'm using these headphones, man.
Oh hell! You're taking.
Now I won't get
you're taking.
Possibly won't get the echo now.
Taking all the profits from the show and just getting more technology equipment and everything. You're just
man, I'm so glad you said that because once again, we forgot in the beginning because I said last week, hey, let's get a recording, something cool in the beginning to remind everybody to like, subscribe, smash that, all good stuff. You said, no, that's not cool. So once again, Rip, we forgot. We forgot.
Well, that's okay. You just need to put it on your things to do list instead of coming in cold. You think, oh, I got to plug my things to do to open the show.
Okay. All right. So we need to go to YouTube.
With a different T-shirt on.
We need to go to right now on YouTube. On YouTube right now, Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Go there right this second and subscribe. Also, we need you to join, become a member, baby. $1.99 is the, I think it's called the Hustlers or something like that. I got some new content coming out this weekend for members only, Rip. You can, if you got the green too, if we ever have another live stream, if Rip ever comes through with another guest on this damn show, you get automatic questions with the green on there too. Rip, you got some guests lined up by chance?
No, Eric Jimenez.
Great. Eric
He's going how to go from 290 pounds to 176 in 4 days.
to 176.
He's busy strutting around, bopping his head like he's listening to Starcade. Being over, he's got the waist all vacuumed. He's got a twist to make the chest look bigger. He's got all the shortcuts down.
Eric Jimenez is going to be what a great story. He's going to go from 280 pounds to 276 pounds is probably what it really is in 4 days. 4 pounds in 4 days, Rip. What a success story that's going to be.
Well, when you're a champion, you're a champion. You can do it in all aspects of life. Hey, I didn't want to say anything, but you hear about Vince McMahon, they finding more people coming out with more allegations, etc.
I tell you what, Rip. Hey, do I sound louder than I just did a little bit ago, or the same?
Oh, you sound the same.
Okay. So I was just on the Ben Hameen show a little bit ago. The Friday Locker Room, I think is what it's called. Go check out Ben Hameen, Hameen Media Group, channelattitude.com. He does a bunch of stuff with Vince Russo as well. Stevie Richards, the whole gang. I was on the Big Ray Hernandez and the Vet Opinion Haver, Jamie Williams show too last week. But Ben Hameen, man, I was on the Man show today, and he talked about Vince. Same deal coming out. Well, I didn't really understand what it was, but it's more millions of dollars, it sounds like, going out, Rip.
Man, what a life that Vince has got, right? He goes from the double wide trailer park to Daddy's letting him on announce or do interviews and stuff growing up, you know. The mom was a side piece and Vince Sr. got her and whatever. And then Vince became Big Vince and got out of the trailer park, Appalachian State. Didn't get any better than that. Now he's just making up for lost time and just banging girls. And he got the money to pay for them. That's awesome. He's great.
But I don't think this one has to do with banging girls, does it? This has something else going on, I think.
Oh, was it banging boys or what? I don't know.
No, I don't know what it was, but it was something else. But anyway, everybody's lined up to sue Vince. So me and Ben Hameen, he said, why don't we get in line? Let's think of something to sue Vince over.
I go say.
You got an idea?
Everybody else does.
Well, he said that Triple H one time came down to OVW and promised everybody that OVW would always be a part of WWE developmental system. So that was a flat out lie. So, all of us that were so dedicated to OVW because of Triple H's promise, I think we could probably get in line and start suing for that. Broken promises, Rip.
Yeah, I guess you can sue anybody about anything. And I guess they just always settle because it ain't worth the aggregation. So just settle. We might get $32.22 or whatever, or enough money to cover my medical bills on the money I had to pay back. I'm going to get screwed out of. So you just don't ever know, right?
Yep, let's do it. Get a lawyer.
He knows how to. He knows how to keep his name in the news. And hey, you see the big RAW rating, which is still horrible. God, it
was a lot better this last week. It was 2.3 million. It was way up.
Well, that's what it used to be.
It was like 1.6 million, but they lost something like 4.
I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Back. Oh yeah, but it's up for now. For now, it was a good rating. But I read, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I read that they lost like 450,000 viewers throughout the show. That's not good.
Well, they're looking at nostalgia booking again. So,
sure,
they're pushing people that ain't even wrestlers no more. People want to see somebody they watched 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or whatever, just to see them. And then you see it, you go, "Oh my God, they're old." I don't want to see Michael Jordan now. I want to see Michael Jordan when he's in his prime.
Yeah, I think that's why the numbers were up because
right?
Nostalgia. But I'm just saying they lost people through. So Hogan came out first with Jimmy Hart. So Jimmy Hart is almost 80 years old. I'm assuming you didn't watch any of this show. Maybe you saw some on Twitter or something. Jimmy Hart looked like $1 million still, man. Got the dark hair, the dark beard, the sunglasses, still jumping around. Just looked like Jimmy Hart of 40 years ago. Still look great.
Yeah, Jimmy looks the same.
He reminds me of my
of nervous energy.
He reminds me of my Uncle Tom. They still look exactly the same. They kind of look like each other too. But Jimmy Hart, man, love that dude. Get any Jimmy Hart stories, Rip? Did you ever do much with Jimmy? No, Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy rode with me sometimes when I was working for Ole, I think. Jimmy made some trips in the van. So he's sitting in the captain's chair in the back. I would drive. He'd sit in the back seat on the passenger side in the back there. In the big van, we'd be talking shit, telling stories and stuff. So he's a cool guy, hard worker.
He got in though. Wasn't he in music first, right? Isn't that the story?
Yeah, he was in that song "Keep On Dancing" that I remember when I was a kid, and it was the band called the Gentrys. So he was a legitimate star, you know. Had the one big hit, whatever. Then he had to have the fucking job. And he got the job with Lawler, and he was in Memphis for how long and long and long. And to be anything in the Memphis territory, they bring you in and put you with Jimmy Hart. Then all of a sudden you were elevated. The bad part about it is Jimmy would go out and do every promo. Jimmy would go out and he'd be out there about 5 times a night with 5 different heels. And you get sick of the same act, no matter how good it is. But Memphis always did a thing a little bit different, just like every other territory did. And when you weren't used to seeing it, it was strange. But if you were brought up with that, that's what you were used to. But
yeah, I remember that. Always
hell of a guy. Go ahead.
I remember that. It always seemed like a couple times when things would happen to when him and Lawler would basically call a truce to, get rid of somebody or something. I don't know if one would turn baby, probably Hart would turn babyface or Lawler, however it worked. But you just knew it was just a matter of time before, Hart turned back on Lawler. You knew that relationship wasn't going to last. You just didn't know when it was going to happen.
Well, that kept you watching. That's just like Oldie was a bad guy for all these years, and he turned good for about 2 years. Then he turned on Dusty. I think it was a Dusty in the Cage or whatever. Yeah, he said it would never be over. It would never be over. And Oldie was a good guy, and Dusty needed him for his partner. So Dusty was still ready to make the tag with the Koloff in there, and all of a sudden when Oldie was going to make the comeback, he turned around and starts kicking the shit out of the Dream. It was everybody against the Dream. It was almost Riot City and the Omni. Wow. That makes you a wrestling fan forever. Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I love wrestling.
Speaking of the Cage, you love wrestling, but maybe not Monday Night Raw that we're kind of talking about. So there's a big thing. They had all the nostalgia. They had all the acts come back. But there's a big thing. The Bellas, your favorite, Nikki and what's her name, Bella. You love the Bella twins, right, Rib?
Yeah, they are. Well, they're not wrestlers, so they never were wrestlers. That's when WWE's pushing models, and they were twins. It's like we had the twins from England who was married to Package. What were they called? Juicy and Lucy.
The Blossoms. The Blossoms.
The Blossom, yeah.
Twins put out a tweet. Basically, they were complaining that on this Raw 30th edition,
God.
there was the only people they really brought back for this show were men. Medusa was the only woman. They didn't bring back anybody else. No Beth Phoenix, no Sasha Banks, no Bella Twins, nobody like that. So they were complaining about that.
Back Sasha.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. I didn't think they would either, but no Mickey James, nobody like that. So they put out a tweet complaining about that. Then on the show, there was a cage match. There was supposed to be Bailey versus what's her name with the long ponytail? Oh God, what's her name? The EST. No, the EST, the long ponytail down to the floor.
Oh.
The old CrossFit girl. Oh my God, I can't remember her name. Anyway, cage match with them, but with all the other stuff. So the first hour they did with no commercials. The Usos, they had this big thing with the Usos. They did the DX stuff with Triple H and all of them. So the cage match time was short. So instead of having the cage match, they actually had the cage dropped. And the 3 girls were in there, so they all beat up the EST, whatever her name is. So they didn't really have a match. So then they were all complaining that of all the stuff on the show, all the guy stuff went long, so they cut the women's segment.
Well, nobody wants to see a girls' cage match anyway. So that was probably the plan all the way. You advertise it, then you don't do it, or you do a little tease like that. Because there's nothing worse than a bunch of girl wrestlers who aren't any good. They're good for girls, and they're in a cage match. Now, we're supposed to be and there ain't no girl that knows how to do violence. And you got the Bella girls, who are the worst wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. They ought to be thankful for any money they made, because they were just two hot young twins, but they couldn't wrestle. They couldn't work. They are not wrestlers. They were never wrestlers. They were rotten. Excuse me. Then you had the Bella girls. The Bella girls had the English accent. They were twins, and they could wrestle, but they couldn't get jobs. Imagine that.
Yeah, they could wrestle, and they didn't date John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and Johnny Ace. The Bellas had all their bases covered there.
Well, they sure did. They just like Triple H. He married the boss's daughter. He's set forever, right? What the hell?
Yeah, until Vince buys it back and fires him.
Well, it don't matter. He's already got his money. What the hell? How much more can you spend?
True. But they did have they had a segment I actually kind of liked. They had DX. So typically when this happens, and it happened to our friend of the show, Victor, and his partner. It happened to FTR when they were the Revival. They have these old timers come out, and then seems like they always pick some tag team or something to bury, to squash. APOC went through that, but they brought out Imperium, which is that old Walter guy, and he's the Intercontinental Champion. So it was DX and them. I was thinking to myself, are they really going to bury this Walter guy who they, Gunther, whatever his name is, that they've really put up there, and the Intercontinental Champion now or whatever. But it was kind of cool because DX actually was like, "Oh yeah, we're not messing with this guy," and they're all in Triple H. They're all looking at Triple H. He's like, "Why are you looking at me? I'm retired. You do it." And 1, 2, 3 kids no way, I'm not taking on these guys. So they all put him over and said, all right, we're not messing with you guys. And they brought out the next tag team for a match. So it was actually kind of cool that they just didn't bury, and put the beat down on a current tag team.
Yeah, that was good that they pushed today's talent, because they're the only one to be in the ring, and not the stars of yesteryear. They're done. They had their run. They're just happy to be getting a payday now. What the hell? Now, Gus,
so I guess
a guy that just chopped it. He's the guy that had a shitty body, but now he's been on a diet and training, and he looks a whole lot better. And he's the guy that just chops the shit out of you, right?
Yeah.
So he stole your gimmick, but unlike
he did.
He can throw working punches. I guess he can't throw a fucking working punch.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely stole. Yeah, I think so.
In English?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that whole group, I looked them up. I think they're all from somewhere else. I don't think any of them are from America, but so anyway, that was pretty cool. Hogan came out with Hart in the beginning. Hogan's microphone wouldn't work, so he tried to do some cheap pops, and people started booing, but it was because they couldn't hear him, and he didn't know that his mic wasn't working. So then finally, some stooge came out with a new microphone. I guess Ric Flair. I must have fast forwarded, but they had
the boys did that
to Hogan.
Probably one of the boys sabotaged Hogan's shit just as a fucking rib.
Probably. I guess they had a come to Jesus talk with Ric Flair about the whole Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, the man thing, and they had to have like an hour private conversation with him before he would participate and come out and do anything. Rumor has it, allegedly.
Oh God.
So if you were the man, Rip, would you be mad if Becky Lynch was trying to use the man today?
Well, you got to remember, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers put Ric Flair over in a big program, so he was the Nature Boy now. And when it's time to move along. Hell, nobody stays 25. Babe Ruth ain't batting cleanup no more. Will Chamberlain ain't playing center. They got all the greatest players in the world today. Oh, excuse me, Will averaged 50 points a game one year. 22.9 rebounds as a career. Oh yeah, but the guys today are better. Yeah, okay.
So if somebody came along and sent you an email, Rip, and said, "Hey, Mr. Rip Rogers, I would like to use the name The Hustler. I would like to be the next Hustler." Would you go ahead and give him the blessing?
Well, it depends who the way they were and how much. What am I going to get out of it? Everybody else got something out of it. Flair got or Buddy Rogers got the big. He got the big run when he was working, and he was in his. I don't know if he's in his late 50s or whatever it was when he was working the program with Flair in Charlotte. He was getting work when he didn't need it, but he had some fun with it. Got some great memories going out, and he got to look at that. Said, "Yeah, that guy, I gave him my gimmick because he deserved it." You know,
God, why didn't I do that?
Nobody's really original. No, well, you know,
I should have been the Hustler Junior, man. I should have bleached my hair blonde, done the black beard. Could have been, the next Hustler. God, why didn't we think of that, Rip? We've been so over, I'm sure.
I don't know about that, but it sounds good. Depends who the boss was, who to push, right?
Well, you were the boss. We were at OVW at the time.
Oh, okay. Well, we could have done that, right?
Or DCW or whatever.
But you're too tall to be a hustler. You had like a giant,
Yeah, the giant hustler.
Okay, the giant hustler.
Did you watch AEW Wednesday night by chance?
Missed it.
You missed it again, huh?
It was Wednesday.
Two nights ago.
Well, I've always missed it. Yeah, I always missed it.
If I see one more match where they just stand there and chop each other.
And, wait a minute. They're gonna do and waiting for the dive, and everybody's standing there.
Well, they do that too, but I'm so over the chopping. They don't sell it, nothing.
Oh, they don't sell?
Well, no, they don't sell. They chop, and then they stand there. It's like a competition. It's like, and then they stand there, get ready to take the other guys, and then they like acknowledge it, like, oh, that was a good one, and then they go boom back to do it to the next guy, and he's like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good one, and then
that's why they're AEW.
Oh my God, you know who does it all the time now? And I just can't. I talking about him on the Friday locker room with Ben Hameen today is Bryan Danielson, man. I can't believe he's getting into I guess he was in Japan and did that kind of shit. But
Bryan Danielson is a little guy. Be the world's greatest little guy wrestler.
Like
you're not going to trade. Anytime you trade blows, you're the smaller guy. You fucking sell. You at least fucking register. You ain't no badass. You're a great technical wrestler. Play to your strengths. God, this business is so fucking easy. But probably Tony likes it. And if Tony likes it, well, just do what he says. Forget about anything because it's Tony's game. It's Tony's toy. Just do what the hell you want to.
You always put a lot more on Tony. I don't think Tony has anything to do with these matches personally. I don't think he realizes or cares that or tells them that this happens 4 matches in a row. I just can't. And Bryan Danielson, to your other point, the problem is he's not really that much littler than most people now. Like there's so many little guys in AEW. Now he did have a match Wednesday with Brian Cage, who's not real tall, but he's a lot more built. Same shit though. Same thing. He had his chance
but right. Okay. Now in that match, what happened? What was the finish?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I was trying to get to the Mark Briscoe match at the end. I fast forwarded because I'm sick of watching Bryan Danielson. So I asked Ben Hameen, said it was typical. He really liked the match. And then he said at the end, it was just a train wreck. He said they did like 6 no-sell spots in a row, like power bombs and, dives and you name it, they did it. And then it was the same, like, hey, roll them up at the end type of stupid shit.
And
he said it made no sense.
You had Brian Cage that looks like a Mr. Universe, sort of.
Yep.
Against a guy that looks athletic.
Yep.
But they were trading false finishes. That wasn't. Brian Cage has got a tendency to work like he weighs 175, but he looks like a killer.
Correct.
And today's guys don't understand that. No, if you're a wrestler, stick to fucking wrestling. If you're a goddamn look like Mr. Universe, if you're looking like I can imagine, I don't even want to imagine the false finishes he was doing to Brian Cage and just killing him because, or who knows, he might want to act like he's a 165-pound flippy guy. I don't know.
Well, he does want to apparently, but I don't know why.
That's what
like he's not getting over that way. It hadn't helped him.
Yeah, well, you don't get over because you're not pushed by the office. You could be the world's greatest offer and be told not to do this, not to do this, not to do this, not to do this. Know your role, you get a check. Just shut up.
But he is doing everything. That's the deal. It's not the office not telling him to do stuff. That's what needs to happen in this case. They need to tell him to quit doing shit.
Well, oh well. How was it?
I just can't believe with all the people back there, maybe they all don't care. They're just collecting their checks, sitting back there having a good time. I just can't believe that with all the people back there, nobody tries to smarten up Brian Cage.
Well, who there is really smart?
Well, like when they had like Mark Henry and William Regal and some of those guys. I mean,
but obviously they don't use. Obviously, they don't want their opinion.
Yeah, well, that could be it too.
I mean, anyway, if you go out there and you tell the boss what to do, he'd get pissed off and look for a reason to fire you. Hey, it's his toy. He wants to play. He wants to be the ringmaster. He wants to be the booker. He might end up buying goddamn WWE. And then what?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily telling. I'm not necessarily saying they should tell Tony Khan. I'm just saying like a Mark Henry go to Brian Cage and say, "Listen, man, I'm not even saying it. Include Tony Khan in on it."
No, but I'm saying, well, then the guy can get all upset, complain to Tony, and then they'll get on Mark Henry for expressing. You're just asking. No, just sit in the corner and read your comic book, all of you.
I still think you give Tony Khan way too much credit on voicing his opinion to anybody. I don't think he would ever say a boo to Mark Henry, personally.
I don't know.
But I don't know that. That's just my impression.
Okay.
Maybe Tony's a hard ass back there, but I don't see it. Hey, you know what we haven't done yet, Rip? We haven't plugged your book, man. Been on this show, haven't plugged your book. Pro Wrestling Lessons from Rip Rogers. Great time to plug it, Rip. Bestseller on Amazon.
Maybe Tony will buy one and he can learn about the wrestling business.
Oh, yes, that's right. Tony, if you're watching this, baby, hey, I'll sell you mine right here for half price. I've been trying to get rid of this thing for months. Nobody will buy it. Instead of going to Amazon, Tony, you can have mine for half the price of whatever it costs on Amazon. I'll go exactly half. Tony Khan, learn a little bit about wrestling, learn what to do, learn how to book. Here you go. I mean, I think you're doing a great job. We think you're doing a great job overall because we're big AEW fans. But if you just want to get over that mountain, over the hump, and be a real threat to the WWE, right here it is. Wrestling lessons, whatever it is, something with Rip Rogers on it. I'll give you mine. That way you don't have to worry about looking it up.
Yeah, well, we could make we could make a trade out. If he'd send us some AEW T-shirts, then we could give him a Wrestling with Rip Rogers book, and then that part that I autographed it, and you just rip the page out, and then I'll autograph it to Tony instead.
I'm sure he's watching. Hey, we both got AEW shirts on kind of right now, man. I got my Hollywood Hunk shirt on. You got your heel shirt on, so we're both really supporting AEW right now. Any kind of criticism we have is all constructed. Is that what it's called? Constructed criticism. It's all out of love for Tony and for everybody there at AEW.
Well, I'd like to say, oh, what a great wrestling program it was, but if I tell them it's bad, then I'll get some of the AEW nerd fans to get on here and cuss at me and say no, so we'll get some more viewers. So we're just trying to get some viewers. So we don't really hate you, Tony. We're just saying we do.
Yeah, that's right. It's all clickbait.
That's it. Clickbait, baby.
I'm not going to say his name on here because I don't want him to get heat, but it could have something to do with the two shirts that we had on. I was sending him a text the other day trying to get a contact. And I said, man, I wish you could come on the show sometime. He said, maybe I'll do the blurred out face and the fake voice gimmick and come on the show. I said, yeah, you do that. And at the very end, all of a sudden, I would mess something up, and it would show your real face and your real voice right at the very end.
Then you can say, "Hey, it's not me."
It's not. Yeah, it's not me. I think that would be. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Now,
that's what we're going to start doing, Rip.
Hey, do you know how that thing come out about it's not me? Years ago, there was a 7-foot guy in the NBA. His name was Reggie Harding. He was a 7-foot black guy from Detroit. And he walked in his neighborhood with a mask on, or his head was covered. And he's the only 7-foot guy walking around in that neighborhood, right? They said, "Reggie, get out of here. Don't rob us. Get out of here and leave. We know it's you." He goes, "It's not me." He shook his head.
It's not me. That's classic. That's a real story, huh?
Memories, baby. That's a real story. Yeah, Google Reggie Harding, oh God, yeah, he was in some trouble, and then but he was 7 foot and athletic, so he was going to make played some pro basketball. I had a little bit of trouble with the when he was on parole and shit like that, but what the hell, right? Can't be perfect.
No, can't be perfect.
We got Vance. He's just doing women. Hey, he's just doing stuff what he was made to do. He's a man made by God, and he's gonna just go hit women and just pay millions. What the hell? It's his money. He can burn it if he wants to.
True. Rip, I was looking today. We jumped up some subscribers finally. We got over the we were on a big stalemate there for a while. We're at 2,240 now. We went up a little the last couple of days. 2,240. How about that?
Well, there probably was a lot of women holding out to see if you was going to appear on that you was really getting over. Do you want to increase my storage size? What are you talking about? My StreamYard of storage? No. Hell, I don't know what to do. Some come up on my thing about my StreamYard storage. Like, I know what the hell that is. Whatever I push.
Exit out. Click it
I did. I pushed no.
Greg Smith had a big comment on our last show, our last episode, and maybe it was with the Rob Conway. I can't remember, but it said, "Another banger of an episode, Rip. You guys are going to blow up soon. I know it. You guys deserve way more subscribers." Pretty nice of a loyal member, Greg Smith, huh?
Yeah, all we needed was to be on nationwide television for years, and you could open up a podcast and fart and burp and have fucking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers. Hey, I see where AEW just signed a new TV deal. Every place, probably over in the world, where we're all banned from cussing too much.
Wait, I was coughing. Say that again.
So AEW just signed a big contract with some sports thing or whatever, but they're going to be on all these different countries all over the fucking world.
What about being banned? What'd you say about being banned? I thought you said something about that.
I don't know. I was talking about being banned.
You said somebody was banned for cussing too much or something.
No, I didn't say that.
You just said it.
Banned from cussing too much.
You just literally said something to that effect when I was coughing.
No, it said increase storage size. Do you want to allow StreamYard to use up to 1.1 GB of storage on your iPhone? I put don't allow, and then I got cut off. So now I still got the same thing looking at me, the whatever.
Well, just leave it. We can't see it on here, so.
Okay. Yeah, so me and this technology, it don't fucking get it. Fuck this technology fucking bullshit.
Mr. Technology, Rip Rogers always acts like, hey, I the world is screwed because of technology. I hate phones. I hate this, hate that. His phone didn't work for like one day, and man, I thought it was going to be the end of the world, Rip.
Well, the whole world revolves around your phone now. They got you addicted to it.
So you can finally admit you're addicted to your phone then.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just like everybody's addicted to goddamn sugar and fat. And hey, look outside.
Your analogies are so awful, so wrong, so out there. Yeah, you want to compare a phone now to sugar. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Hey, when you walk up to the cash register, what's sitting there looking at you?
I don't know. What is it, cigarettes?
Nothing but fucking sugar products. Who's the fattest country in the world, the most out of shape?
Germany?
United States of fucking America.
You're funny, man.
Yeah, here's a woman. Oh yeah, I need a high level man. Oh yeah, you're 5 foot tall and you weigh 280 pounds and you're over. Yeah, okay, and you got 5 kids by 5 different fucking guys. Yeah.
Well, hey, sounds like she is over. She's been around the block. So I kind of sent you a text. You said no. You were, you could still text on your phone. You could still call through Messenger if need be. I said, did your phone blow up? Did you get a lot of phone calls after you got
no.
You got that thing fixed?
Yeah.
It wasn't ringing off the hook after that, huh?
Right.
But you felt better though, right?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Okay. Okay. Right now, whose number? If you lost your phone or whatever and you had nothing, you can't pay nobody on you can't use a payphone, and you don't know what nobody's number is because you don't have a phone book anymore.
Yeah, but Rip, you still had your contacts in there with their numbers in there, and you were receiving text messages.
No, listen.
Yeah.
There ain't no contacts. What happened if your phone's just done? Then
how did you text me if you didn't have any contacts?
That's not what I'm saying. Answer the fucking question. I just said.
So if my contacts were gone, which yours weren't because you were texting, but if they were, what I've done, Rip, I'll tell you, I can answer your question. I have a page written down of what I consider my most important phone numbers. I have them written down and filed away in case something does happen to my phone and I lose everything.
On a piece of paper, and you got it, right?
100%.
Yeah, I did that. I did that too, so I finally threw it away.
I can't believe you threw it away. That's not like you.
I know. But it's like when I was a kid, I knew Carrie Hammond's number, 522-5811, or RB's 6545. My mom's number, my grandma's. I knew all them numbers. So now I don't know anybody's number. The only number I know is mine. Do you know what your wife's number is?
I learned it recently because I had to do a whole bunch of stuff, but I got tired of asking her for it. So I finally just memorized it.
Oh, okay.
I did not know it for a long time, though.
All right.
But there is something called the cloud as well. So you can put your numbers in the cloud. So if something does happen to your phone, you can still log into like any computer or anything like that. And
that is answered that. I'm going to log into a computer. Right. Okay.
So just take your computer out and just log in there, and then you can find all your numbers.
Yeah, I don't have a computer.
Hey, Rip, I was invited to be on another podcast, the Great Northwest Wrestling, I think it was called, something like that. Are you friends with the No Gimmicks guy? He does a podcast on Hannibal TV channel.
No Gimmicks.
Out of Canada.
Well, I know Hannibal.
So I'm supposed to be a guest on there sometime in February.
But it's not Hannibal, right?
No, not Hannibal, but it's like, I don't know what he's doing. I think Ben Hameen's been doing something with him too. So it would be like here at Wrestling with Rip Rogers, if we would start having other shows on here, other people put their show on our channel. I think is kind of how it is.
The Lightless Network.
Yeah, something like that. I think that's what people are kind of doing.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how it works. I wanted to give a shout out, Rip. After all this time, I finally found a list of our subscribers. I'm going to do a rundown shout out to this list right now, Rip.
Is this both of
them? No, we're over 5 now, baby. Michael Costello, 3 months. He's been on here for 3 months as a member. He's on the Hustlers. The Hustlers are $3.99, so he's really helping the show.
Okay.
Opinion Haver, he's a hustler as well. He's been on there for 3 months. Shout out to the vet, the Opinion Haver. Greg Smith is an original, baby. He's a month in, so shout out to Greg Smith getting in there. Media M5, he is now a member.
Is that the guy that likes my trunks or likes my how I fill my trunks out?
No, I don't think so. He was a legit dude. He was either up in the Northeast, I think, was where he was from. Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass is a member now, Rip. He's been a member too. Now, I don't know that I got this the other day. Now, I know we kind of upset Poffo Maniac, which we upset people on this show every once in a while. Poffo Maniac.
He said so. No, he had something wrong and he was mistaken because I was there.
So even though he didn't comment to that comment, It looks like he became a member after that, though. So maybe, he's not.
Maybe he's a member to cuss me out or something.
Maybe so. So maybe he's not that mad at us after all. Pop-O-Maniac, no hard feelings. Rip was there, so he's not gonna, he's not gonna give in on his dates. He went through it. But thanks for being a member, man. We really appreciate it. Little controversy on the channel. It's not too bad anyway. So that's our members. That's our members, Rip.
No, wait, and then Eric Jimenez. I've been on his ass. I said, "Oh yeah, you told me you was going to send in $5 every week, you lazy bastard." No, I said, "You fat lazy bastard." That's when he was posing, weighed 290, got down to 284 with the vacuum, and he's got the strut going on, looking good, head bebopping like he was the king to the music of Starcade. But then he ain't sent us no more money. That's why I can't afford to turn the heat on.
Well, just tell him to be a member, and then it's either only $1.99 a month or $3.99 a month. Just tell him to be a member instead of getting on and trying to. $5 probably a little too much. That's $20 a month, Rip. That's a lot of money, man.
You ain't got nothing to worry about. You're sitting around the goddamn mansion with the 2 brand new cars. You don't even have a job. You're like a bum. You just hang out all day and train with all your great equipment in the garage, just laughing, working on the big arms, and you eat all day. That's why you're heavy. You're not as heavy as 6'12" Chili, but then you're trying to cut down but then again, you missed APOC's wedding, so what the hell, right? So
I'm only 237. I was losing all that weight. You want to put over Eric Jimenez all the time. I was losing all that weight to get into APOC's wedding. Then I got sick and couldn't even go, but only 237 right now, Rip. From 250 to 237. Instead of talking about Eric Jimenez all the time, I think we need to give a shout out to Von Lightless.
Okay, shout out to Von Lightless. Fuck him. All right. Okay, moving on now.
Moving on. With that shout out being...
That one time. Edgy Harding thing in, so what the hell, right?
Are you not watching the screen?
Because I can't see the screen because that thing covers my the thing covers my thing.
Jump in the limousine, jump in the limousine. Jet plane, long limousine.
Or don't allow. Last time I pushed don't allow, and then all of a sudden it cut us off.
Never a dull moment with Rip and technology, man. I tell you what.
This is supposed to be a pro wrestling, whatever you call it.
A pro wrestling show that we don't talk about wrestling. Hey, are you ever going to retweet anything that I put you in? Like I don't
know how to retweet it.
You retweet stuff all the time. What do you mean you don't know how to retweet it?
No, if it don't say retweet on there or whatever.
How do you know how to do it sometimes?
Well, that's like a lot of times Romer will put something on, and some of the stuff you can share and some you can't share.
You could. It's my Twitter. You can retweet anything that I tweet. It's not like some of it you can and some of it you can't. I don't have anybody that follows me, so anything I tweet out there nobody sees. But if you would retweet it with your 25,000 people, somebody might actually see it. Shelly Martinez retweeted it again. Shout out to Shelly.
Yeah, but you was putting over her sweater so much that one time that she just had to.
I retweet her stuff too. It was this grumpy old men one. I thought it was a great one here, but you won't retweet it.
I thought I did.
So this whole show is I can't remember. Oh, you didn't. Most times when you come in with a format, but we don't do any prep work.
We don't do any format. I sit here and do the same shit I do every day, and then you participate.
No, but
on the way over here, you're like, I'm fired up, baby. I can do all day today. I'm gonna do nothing but talk, baby.
Okay,
I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna do it all. Fired up. Can't wait. 2 hours of this, 2 hours of that. I'm gonna do it all.
Boy, what an asshole you are.
I can't believe people say we're grumpy old men on here.
Well, grumpy old man and grumpy middle-aged, young-looking man.
My tweet was, I'm still not seeing the whole grumpy old men thing. Me and Hustler, I just ask a simple question and he answers it. Simple as that.
But I didn't answer what you asked me.
You never do. You never answer a damn question.
Well, that's the gimmick, you know.
So instead of doing our Q&A at noon, we should start calling it Q and not A, or Q and
questions and sort of an answer.
Question and an answer not relevant to the question whatsoever.
That'd be all right. Yeah.
What else going on? We got any wrestling news? Maybe we should check. Let me check the dirt sheets, see if we got anything going on in the wrestling world, Rip.
I haven't seen a dirt sheet in so long.
The big Royal Rumble's coming up Saturday. So surprise entries is always a thing. You think you might be in it, Rip?
No, I don't think so.
No?
What's today? Is that tomorrow?
It's tomorrow, yeah.
Well, it might be like Global when they would send you a plane ticket. It would get there, they'd bring it to your house, and you'd barely get there because they would wait as long to send it, you know.
So there's a chance then. You're in the Royal Rumble.
Chance. Now, now you're gonna say you're not answering the question with the question and whatever the fuck.
Go ahead. I didn't really ask one. Go ahead.
It's just like when you're advertising Vaughn Lightless and a mystery partner. Yeah. Why would you put Vaughn Lightless and a mystery partner unless the mystery partner was great. Hey, I got the mystery. I got Vaughn Lightless and Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant. Holy shit! I can't wait to go to wrestling. Oh, and the mystery partner. Oh, in other words, they ain't got nobody.
Now, I will agree with you 9 times out of 10. The only time I won't agree with you is this time the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble is now that thing where everybody knows there's going to be surprises. Like that is kind of the draw to the Royal Rumble is who is going to be the surprise entries. Okay. And the couple years there hasn't been too many are really the down, like when people are bummed out. So that's why I don't think they advertise people, because you already know somebody's going to be there. That's, a former person, a big person, a movie star, whatever it is. Somebody's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
It's not going to be anybody that was just on Raw, is it?
What do you mean? Yeah.
Well, then you're really fucking them. Oh, Hulk Hogan's on it. Well, hell, we just watched him on goddamn
I see what
Raw.
you mean. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
How stupid is that to put that program on back to back with the other one? Because it would have meant something at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but listen, they can't help when their 30 years hits. I mean, they were celebrating 30 years is why they did it.
You can celebrate 30 years if it's 29, if it's 30 and 51. They can do whatever they fucking want to. It's goddamn Vince McMahon.
Again, I see your point, but now they can get 2 big shows out of it instead of 1. The Royal Rumble's already going to be big. Now they actually got a draw on a Monday Night Raw, and most of those guys on it, Hogan's not going to be in the Royal Rumble. Jimmy Hart's not going to be in the Royal Rumble. Those DX guys, the only one that could possibly be in it would be maybe 1, 2, 3 Kid. None of those people they brought back are going to be in the Royal Rumble anyway.
So who in the world could they put in the Royal Rumble that you'd give a shit about?
Well, they were talking about like let's say like a Rene Dupree, a Chris Masters, those kind of people that have been there before. Carlito made an appearance last year, and then they actually had him come to Raw a couple times. People loved him. He was over. The talks about re-signing him, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, and then talks fell through or whatever, and they didn't end up doing it. But people like that, those would be the kind. I would love to see Chris Masters back at the Royal Rumble. I think it'd be awesome. Why don't you try to get Chris Masters on this show, Rip?
I don't know how to get hold of him.
Well, who was just on our show not too long ago that said they were with Chris Masters and sent you like pictures and text and...
I don't know. Well, I don't.
Well, somebody did. Somebody on this show said, oh, yeah, me and Chris Masters were sending you selfies. I think maybe it was Idol. Was it?
It might have been. Yeah, it might have been Idol. Yeah, because I think him and Chris are both doing that. The Billy Corgan stuff, I think it was.
Yeah, see?
I think that might have been it.
I'm sure you could get...
Yeah, Idol would send me pictures or something like that.
I'm sure being the hustler Rip Rogers, you could send out a couple texts and be like, hey, man, think I Chris Masters' number?
Hey, what I found out in this, when you ain't... it's like the numbers on our show. You'll clip up some video, and then we got no numbers with the whole show, and you'll get a whole lot more on just a clip or something than the show. So
okay, so what's that got to do with getting Chris Masters' number?
Oh, anyway.
What's that?
Oh,
I said, do you think surely you could get Chris Masters' number? He said, well, what I've seen about this business is you can do a clip and get. What's that got to do with just get his?
But a lot of things. We had some high power guys on here, and they didn't draw shit as far as numbers.
Yeah, but that we were just getting started on here.
But I'm talking about 1 week, and then the next week or something like we're still in the infancy stage.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean we just quit trying to get people on here.
Well, that's when you're saying, well, what? Well, that's like what WWE's doing now. See, now they're bringing back all. They're trying to get some people that have been on there for years and years and years, trying to get people hooked to watch again because they got a shitty product.
Okay, I don't know whether any of that has to do with getting new guests on our show because somebody didn't draw, so we just don't have guests anymore. I mean, we're not drawing. Should we just quit altogether then? I don't.
We could really get that. We could do the same thing with just what we're doing now, not have no guests.
Yeah, people like guests every once in a while. We got to change it up. We can't do the same shit, and it gives us more content to put out there. You know, I'm clipping up Rob Conway stuff right now. I've gotten 1.6 thousand views and 1.8 thousand views in the last two things. Yeah, so if we didn't have Rob Conway on this show, I can't do those clips and put them out there. So I mean,
like maybe I could. I wonder if Russell Sapp Esquire's still alive.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, well, he was the ring guy in Kansas City, and I made him a star, the sharp dressed man. So he was as I called him. I said, "You're a nerd." He goes, "What's a nerf?" You know. But anyway.
All right. I mean, I'll just go ahead and put on. I'll just add that to my plate. I'll go ahead and start trying to get the stars on the show since you.
Well, you know, you ain't got a job. You just hang out and look good and train all day.
The guy who always taught me, Rip Rogers taught me one lesson in life, and that was the worst anybody can tell you, kid, is no. But yet he's scared of a no, I think.
I got tired of approaching women because they told me no so many times.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Now I'm just an old nerf.
You know, the guys that developmentally speaking, you know, they're always hustling trying to get stars on their show. They just announced the other day that they're having on Beefy Wellington. Brad Maddox is coming on the developmentally speaking show. How about that? He hasn't talked, I don't think, in public for like 7 years. And he's coming out. Hasn't spoken 7 years. He's coming out and going to be on developmentally speaking.
Yeah, when you said Beef Wellington, I didn't know who the hell you was talking about.
Oh, that's how you knew him in DCW. Was Beefy? Come on.
Well, I know that now because you reminded me of it. But when you asked that, see, there was a Biff Wellington in Calgary. That's who I would have thought about.
No, they're not getting a guy from Calgary from the 80s.
From 1988.
No, that's not who the breaking news is about.
Okay.
It's the guy that got fired from WWE and had a porn video leaked on the internet. That's the Beefy Wellington they're talking about.
I wonder who leaked that. I
don't know.
Probably, you think the girl did?
I don't know. If we had him on our show, maybe we could ask him that question.
Yeah.
But you know, people don't want to see that. They want to just watch me and you every second of the day.
Oh, well. Maybe I get Eric Jimenez to buy a thing where he has to pay $1.99 a month or whatever the hell is, or how he gets a green thing on his name or whatever that is.
Again, that's nothing to do with an interview.
Oh, okay. Hey, I liked when you chopped up the thing with me and Wahoo. Do you see him chop me? You see me how to sell? And I said, God damn, was that good? And that's when the guys when AEW, they come out and start chopping each other, right? And it's like, and I said, what the hell? Damn, Billy.
Yeah, I saw somebody put a comment on that and said you didn't sell that. That hurt. Like you could hear that it hurt. You didn't have to try to sell it. You could tell it just it hurt.
No, when it hurts, you can't sell it. It hurts too bad.
Yeah, I remember that.
You go, oh fuck.
The first time I was in that battle royal at the Armory when Trash and all of them, he was sell it, motherfucker, sell it. I'm like, I don't know how I'm not selling this. You guys are killing me. Like, I probably was just too scared or too in pain or whatever, like you said.
Yeah.
It was, it hurt.
You're damn right it hurt. What the hell?
How many matches do you think you had with Wahoo?
Not that many. He was the boss, and he always wanted to work with bigger guys. So because Wahoo was getting heavy, and he wanted guys bigger than him, so he didn't look so big. And he'd wear that black, and he'd spray paint his hair every night.
Did he?
Yeah, it was awesome. Nice guy. Jesus Christ! All he wanted to do is play golf and drink beer, tell stories. Awesome. Can you imagine playing middle linebacker in the NFL for like 8 years?
No.
Busting balls and then being a pro wrestler. What a fucking life. I think he's still got the Oklahoma. He was the punter at Oklahoma. I think he's got the record for the longest punt they've ever had there.
Oh, really? All right. It looks like Rip is not coming back. We're sitting here looking at Rip Rogers spin, more spin for Rip. So we're going to end this thing. Lightless Studios, this has got to be the worst episode that we've ever had. The worst episode in the history of our 49 episodes. Like, subscribe, smash, all that good stuff. Maybe. No head bob from Rip.
Big gold and a bill
Lightless.
so swole that I can't
Solo.
get the shit closed.
Peace.